Hated in the Nation is a tale of how technology has taken one more step into becoming an essential part of our lives. Our mere existence is so severely dependent on it already, and Black Mirror predicts we will need to call on technology again to maintain human civilization in the near future. In this story, the bees have become essentially extinct and have been replaced by robotic versions to carry out the deed left by the dead. These bees are now so commonplace to the British public that nobody really minds that they're about. They prevented an environmental catastrophe after all. We later learn, however, that the bees are not only being used to spy on people, but also have the capacity to kill people in the most grotesque ways imaginable. This analysis will argue that at the core of this episode lies a warning of human complacency in times of technological dependence. From the insignificant screams into the void of social media to the stripping of human responsibility, there is something foul at play in our world today. The first victim of the story wrote an offensive article and was later found dead after an onslaught of online outrage. The same thing happens when the rapper Tusk expresses his dismay at a child trying to imitate him. Are these worthy reasons for individuals to be killed? Undoubtedly, there are delusional people in reality who would think so. After Karen sees Blue looking at all the online hatred Joe received, she resolves that the people online simply don't mean it, and that's the most important point that the hacker wanted to emphasize, that they wouldn't say it out loud in public, but are given the platform to do so online, and thus should be responsible for what they say within the public domain. The same logic can be applied to personal information, and to an extreme degree, uploading our entire identities to a social media account. It goes beyond that, however. It is undoubtedly becoming increasingly difficult to retain anonymity online. Just by using the internet, your search history, your conversations with your friends, even your shopping history is being monitored and manipulated to tailor how you act online. We are also fine with sharing our identities without hesitation, and can be seen when Blue and Rasmus connect each other's phones together just to exchange details with ease. We depend on technology to keep our information secure with encryption and the like in exchange for conveniences like this. If it's as easy as this to get hold of somebody's details in the future, we're screwed. But there is hope. Robotic bees have actually been a real thing for many years. Harvard University has already been thinking ahead about this and has produced prototypes called robo-bees. These robots, however, are designed for more than just pollination. They can potentially be used for search and rescue, underwater operations, as well as CCTV. The latter use certainly would appear to be the most concerning and is acknowledged to a minor degree within the episode. One issue that Harvard faced in 2013 was that the robots were so small, no available microchip had the capacity to allow for decision-making and automation. The other issue they currently face is that of power supply. If you want the thing to be flying from one plant to another all day, you're going to need an extraordinary amount of power for one bee alone to perform such operations, let alone an entire hive. The bees in Hated in the Nation are solar-powered, which also comes with the issue of not being able to work properly on a cloudy day or at night. My personal concern is that we will become complacent knowing that there is technology that will replace the bee, to the point that we will either kill the bee off ourselves as a result of building better ones, or that the bees will have died off before we reach that point and result in agricultural Armageddon. The episode warns us of the latter option becoming a reality in two instances. Firstly, when Karen says it's a shame the robot bees are necessary, and secondly, when hundreds of thousands of people die. Because the bee is so central to the ecosystem as we know it, becoming ignorant of their demise could have devastating consequences. Swarm intelligence would be involved in the designing of the behavior of these autonomous bees. This essentially is the programming of multiple bots to perform the same task in their environment, meaning that the bees would have to be programmed to act identically to their biological predecessor. To prevent ourselves from slowly sleepwalking towards Armageddon, we must therefore continue to be engaged in and discuss openly and honestly the ethical application of technology in an ever-advancing world. The way that social media is currently shaping our thoughts and opinions has left us divided, filled with resentment and bitterness. Expand your mind beyond what your friends and people who agree with you think. Read, listen, and watch as broadly as you can. Although it may seem like technology is advancing at such a rapid rate, don't expect the world to become a utopia in a few years' time. We still have a long way to go before things like robot bees replace the real ones, and don't forget that Black Mirror is also just a fiction. It'll bum you out from time to time, but it'll at least get you thinking. It definitely got me thinking, and here I am thinking aloud.